Hi, good morning class. Welcome to the next lecture, that is lecture 8 of Managerial Economics for Unit 3. So in this lecture we are going to have a discussion regarding the production function and law of variable proportion. So production is what? Production means that when the raw material is converted into finished product, so the continuation of that cycle is known as the production. Now we are going to have a discussion of production function and law of variable proportion. Concept of production. In general terms, production means transforming inputs into an output. That means the conversion of raw materials into finished goods with the help of labor, machine and raw materials, so that is known as the production. This concept of production is however limited to only manufacturing. In managerial terms, creation of utility in a commodity is production. So the producer is going to produce only that commodity which gives him a high return. So that means the producer is creating a utility for the customers and for the suppliers to purchase the commodity with the help of the production process. In economical terms, production means a process by which resources, that is men, material, time, are transformed into a different and more useful commodity or service. Where input, it is a good or service that goes into the process of production. Output, it is any good or service that comes out production process. That means input is whatever the things which is required for the production of a commodity, so that is known as input. That means in input we are talking about the men, material, time and labor. Output means that after production, the finished product or the finished commodity which is ready to sell in the market, so that the finished product is known as the output. Production function. A production function is a tool of analysis used to explain the input-output relationship. It expresses physical relationship between the production input and resultant output. It tells us that how much maximum output can be obtained in the specified set of inputs and in the given state of technology. That means the production function explains the relationship between the input and the output. That means how much input is required for the manufacturing or for the production of a commodity. Mathematically, the production function can be expressed as Q equals to F K comma L. Q is the level of the output, K is the units of labor, L is the units of labor and K is the unit of capital, and F represents the production technology. So in the previous lecture I have discussed about the production of the बोर्ड मार्कर. तो उस बोर्ड मार्कर को जब हम मैथमेटिकली पेपर पे लिखेंगे, सो वी कैन use the production function formula, that is Q equals to Fk comma L. Q is the level of output, that means level of output क्या होगा, board marker. K units of capital, how much investment या what type of or how much I am going to invest in the production of the board marker, and L is the units of labor. That means if I want to produce 1000 units of board marker, then for the production of 1000 units, how many units of labor are required? So that can be calculated with the help of the production function. When discussing production function, it is important to distinguish between the two frames, short run and the long run. So it is the very important factor of production process, or we can say the production concept, that whatever the commodity that we are going to produce, we have to keep in mind that that production of commodity is related with the short run or the long run. If we are manufacturing the commodities which belongs to short run, that means we have to produce less, and if we are producing for the long term, that means we have to produce more. The short run production function, which may also be termed as single variable production function, describes the maximum quantity of goods or services that can be produced by a set of inputs, assuming that at least one of the input is fixed at some level, which means that the production can increase by increasing the variable input only. It can be expressed as Q equals to F and L. L is the labor and Q is the quantity and F is the change in technology. Long run production function, which may also be termed as returns to scale, where maximum quantity of goods or service can be produced by a set of inputs as the firm is free to adjust the level of all inputs. So what is the basic difference? In short run production function, we have one fixed, that at least one input can remain fixed, and if we talk about the long run production function, here we have not fixed any level of production or any factor of production. So that is the main difference between the short run and long run. Long run means that the commodity is going to be consumed by the customers for a longer period of time, and short run means according to the taste and preferences of the customer. Production function in the long run. Long run production function shows relationship between inputs and output under the condition that both the input, capital, labor are variable factor. Variable factor means that keeps on changing according to the situation. Situation means here we are talking about the market situation. In the long run, supply of both the inputs is supposed to be elastic, and firm can hire larger quantity of both labor and capital. With large employment of labor and capital, the scale of production increases. If we want to increase our production, that means we have to add more of labor and we have to invest more on capital term. Short run production function, that is also known as law of variable proportion. One factor varying quantity of the other factor is fixed, where one factor remains fixed. Law of variable proportion, it's the study of the effect of output of variation in factor proportion. As the proportion of one factor in a combination of a factor is increased at a point, first the marginal and then the average product of that factor will diminish. Diminishes means decreasing. So here I have used one word, that is marginal. Marginal means the production of the additional unit is known as the marginal product. So when the marginal product and the average product start declining or having a declining trend, so that is the situation of the law of variable proportion in short run. It is a new name of law of diminishing return. The state of technology is assumed to be given unchanged, some inputs whose quantities is fixed and measured in physical terms. So these are the three criteria which describes the law of variable proportion in short run. Stages. Here you can see the stage. There are three stages: stage 1, stage 2 and stage 3. Stage 1, that is having the increasing trend. Stage 2 is increasing trend, and stage 3 is also starts declining. एच पॉइंट से आपका जो ट्रेंड है, टोटल प्रोडक्ट जो है वो डिक्लाइन करेगा. सो दिस इज टीपी इज फॉर द टोटल प्रोडक्ट. सो यू कैन सी that amount of variable factor, that is marginal product, is goes beyond x-axis, and average product also starts declining. So the stage where the average product and marginal product starts declining, so that stage is known as the law of variable proportion, and this law belongs to the short run. Stages. As we have already seen in the picture that there are three stages in law of variable proportion. Total product increases at an increasing rate. Marginal product of variable factor is rising. Point F, which is known as the point of inflection. Total product curve rises but its slope decline. Total product is increasing at a diminishing rate. Marginal product start falling but it's positive. Average product reaches its highest point. Marginal product of variable factor rises and then falls. Marginal product of fixed factor is negative. Quantity of fixed factor is too much to the variable factor. Variable factor means which keeps on changing. और variable factors कौन से होते हैं? That is capital, labor. These are regarded as the variable factors of production. Stage 2. Stage 2 में क्या होगा? Total product आपका increase हुआ था लेकिन diminishing rate पे, and it reaches to the maximum point, and when TP reaches to maximum point it starts declining. Marginal product and average product are diminishing but positive, and marginal product becomes zero at stage 2. Stage 3, total product has a slope downward and marginal product of variable factor is negative. So we can say in law of variable proportion there are three stages which shows the scale of production under the different stages. Now the question is in which stage the producer should produce. कि ये तीन stage आती हैं law of variable proportion which belongs to the short run. तो अगर कोई commodity है which belongs to a short run, so in which of the three stages the producer will produce the goods? That is stage 3. No, क्यों? क्योंकि marginal product of variable factor is negative. Stage 1, no, marginal product of fixed factor is negative and full utilization of resources is not there. Stages of economic absurdity, economic nonsense and non-economic regions. But the producer can go for the production in stage 2 because marginal product and average product are positive but having diminishing or declining trend. Causes. Quantity of fixed factor is abundant than variable factor. Fixed factors are indivisible. With addition of variable factor, fixed factor is more effectively and intensively utilized. More units of variable factor are employed, the efficiency of variable factor increases. That means here we are talking about this specialization of labor. That means according to the skill that the labor is having for the production of a particular commodity. So these are the causes why there is an increasing return, diminishing return in the law of variable proportion which belongs to the short run. Now, technological progress and diminishing returns. In today's scenario, the technological progress can suspend the operation of diminishing returns by continually improving the techniques of production. So if we talk about the today's era, so in today's era there are new resources, there are hell lot of technology which are used for the production of a different types of commodity. So this is all about for this lecture. So here you can see that we have discussed about the law of variable proportion which belongs to the short run. So with the practical implementation of this law in the production of a particular commodity, the producer can produce well and the producer can earn a maximum profit if he is practically applied the law of variable proportion. If he is producing a commodity for a short period of time. So you have to keep in mind, if you are talking about the short run, that means there is an implementation of the law of variable proportion. In law of variable proportion, there are three stages: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Stage 1 is a moving trend, stage 2 is the increasing trend, and stage 3 that after a certain point the average product start declining, and after a certain point marginal product becomes negative. So you have to keep in mind that the producer have to produce the commodity for a short period of time in stage 2, क्योंकि स्टेज 2 में आपका एवरेज प्रोडक्ट और मार्जिनल प्रोडक्ट का जो ट्रेंड है वो डिक्लाइनिंग ट्रेंड है, बट इट इज़ पॉजिटिव नॉट नेगेटिव. सो why there is a need of law of variable proportion? It helps the producer to supply the goods in stage 2, which helps in increasing the profit ratio, as well as it helps in increasing the revenue of the supplier. So this is all about for this lecture. Now we will meet in the next lecture of managerial economics. Till then, take care. Bye. Thank you, class.